Good morning. Good morning. I am going to bring to you two new books today, and each book has a collection of stories. This one is called The Big Book of Little Stories, and this one is Cow Takes a Bow and Other Tales. And we are going to read one story from each book. And this one is going to be kind of familiar with phonics stories, and these are going to be classic stories that are retold. I will start with this one. All right. The Big Book, Usborne Big Book of Little Stories. And today we're going to read the story of Little Red Riding Hood. This is based on the story by the Brothers Grimm and retold by Susanna Davidson, illustrated by Mike and Carl Gordon, and this is published by Usborne Publishing. I'm going to turn my light off because the pages are really glossy. There, and I think that'll be better. All right. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She always wore a bright red cloak with a bright red hood. I love my cloak. She lived with her mother in a cottage on the edge of some deep, dark woods. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother gave her a pot of Brussels sprout soup. Take this to your grandmother on the other side of the woods, she said. But remember the rules of the woods. I promise, said Little Red Riding Hood, and off she went. Skippity, skippity, skip, skippity, skippity, skip. Oh, what a lovely day, said Little Red Riding Hood. Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood, called the woodcutter. Good morning, woodcutter, called Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, look at this guy. Little Red Riding Hood walked deeper and deeper into the deep, dark woods. It grew darker and darker. So Little Red Riding Hood didn't see the wolf waiting for her on the path. And the wolf didn't see Little Red Riding Hood either. Little Red Riding Hood stumbled straight into the wolf. Ow! Oh! Oof! What are you doing in the middle of the path? Asked Little Red Riding Hood. I nearly spilled my grandmother's Brussels sprout soup. Sprouts! Yuck! Wolves only eat juicy red meat. Little Red Riding Hood had forgotten the rule, don't talk to wolves. The wolf was just about to gobble up Little Red Riding Hood when he had a brilliant idea. I'll eat Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother. And where does little Granny live? Dear little Granny live? Asked the wolf. In the cottage on the other side of the woods, said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf raced to the cottage and knocked on the door. Tap, tap, tap. Come in, called Grandmother. The wolf leaped into the room and gobbled up Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother in 2 seconds. Flat. Bony, but not bad. Then he pulled on her cap, jumped into bed, and waited for Little Red Riding Hood. Soon there was a knock at the door. Tap, tap, tap. Come in, snarled the wolf as softly as he could. Little Red Riding Hood looked at her grandmother, then looked again. Oh, Granny, what big ears you have! All the better to hear you with. Oh, Granny, what big eyes you have! All the better to see you with. Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have! All the better to eat you with. In one bound, the wolf was out of bed and gobbling up Little Red Riding Hood. "Delicious," he said, then fell fast asleep. As he slept, he snored very loudly. "What's going on?" wondered the woodcutter. "Oh, no, I think he's eaten that poor old woman." The woodcutter picked up some scissors. He snipped open the wolf's tummy. Snippity snip, snippity snip. Out popped Grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood, too. Quick as a flash, Little Red Riding Hood picked up some stones and piled them into the wolf's tummy. When the wolf woke up, he tried to sneak out of the door. Rattle, rattle, rattle. But the stones rattled and rattled and rattled inside him. "Now everyone can hear me coming. I'll never catch anyone," cried the wolf. "Exactly," said the woodcutter. "You'll just have to eat vegetables instead," said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf was never able to eat another person. Ugh, Brussels sprouts. As for Little Red Riding Hood, she never ever talked to a wolf again. I think that's a fun retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood story. All right, now we're going to start a new book that has several stories. This one is called Cow Takes a Bow and Other Tales. And this one has several different stories in it that are written by, let me get you the authors because you have a new one on this one. They are written by Russell Punter and Lesley Sims and Mairi Mackinnon and illustrated by Fred Blunt. And these stories are published by Usborne Publishing. So our first story we're going to read is Cow Takes a Bow. Cow Takes a Bow. Today the circus is in town. Hooray! Brown Cow sets out to track it down. "I'd like a seat, please," says Brown Cow. "The tent is full. There's no room now." Here comes the boss. Cow sees him frown. "Our clown's not here. He's let me down." "I'll help," says Cow. "Just show me how." "No time," the boss cries. "You're on now." Cow slips and trips. She tries some tricks, but drops the pies and spills the bricks. Her tricycle just spins around. Her trumpet makes a silly sound. Her juggling balls all hit the ground. Her hat flies off. Her pants fall down. Am I the biggest fool in town? It's all gone wrong. Brown Cow flops down. Now she's the one who wears a frown. I'm sorry I messed up. No, wait, the boss shouts. Don't go now. Listen, he says. The crowd shouts, wow! 3 cheers, bravo! Cow takes a bow. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow.